Okay, our next nutrient cycle, carbon. See if you can determine the correct order from largest carbon reservoirs to smallest. Go ahead and pause it. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how you did. So number 1 is ocean sedimentary rock. And number 2 is ocean water. And then we have fossil fuels. And then 4, atmosphere. And finally, plants, biomass. So let's take a look at that in this diagram here. So here's our sedimentary rock, bottom left. Down here. And next would be, and we can see 80 million units there. Oceans, 38,000 units. Fossil fuels, 4,000 units. Atmosphere, 815. And lastly would be land plants, 560. Okay, so let's take a look at the next slide. So let's take a look at this process here. CO2 in the atmosphere can dissolve into the ocean where it mixes with water and calcium to make calcium carbonate shells for seashell. And ultimately when those seashell organisms die, then the shells go to the bottom, they get broken up into a sand kind of material, and then eventually they become sedimentary rock. So that's why this is such a big number, because there's so many seashell creatures in the ocean. And so much CO2 dissolved in the ocean, that's where this number comes from. And of course, fossil fuels we know are hydrocarbons, stored, remains from anaerobic decomposition of swampy areas and any place that was anaerobic. So let's point out a couple of key processes here. When we extract and burn the fossil fuels, we are putting that CO2 from the fossil fuels back into the atmosphere. And so that makes the CO2 level more elevated, and that's what we talk about, burning fossil fuels contributing to increasing greenhouse gases. But the CO2 also does get taken up by plants through the process of photosynthesis. But when we do excessive deforestation, then we don't have as much photosynthesis occurring on the planet. And so that also has the effect of making the CO2 increase.